Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, weather, conditions. Do you hear that? Do you see that? Trees are moving. Stay tuned. So guys, you hear that? Do you hear that? Do you feel that? Well, no, my hair's not blowing anywhere, so yeah, of course you don't feel that or see that, but you might hear it through the mic. It's windy today, and for some reason out in NorCal, where I am, it's been windy all freaking year. So I don't know how conditions are where you are, but weather definitely plays a factor in tennis. So we're gonna go back inside and let me complain about it, okay? All right, guys, so for the last, well, this whole freaking year, it's been windy. Every time I go out to play, it's been freaking windy. No matter it's morning, noon, night, the wind's always blowing. I don't know what's going on in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's like freaking tornado here all year long. We've had 20 to literally 60-mile-per-hour winds. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys have played in wind before, and it really sucks, right? I mean, every time I look out, I check the weather, and it's those stupid swirly lines on the weather thing, which means high winds. And high winds definitely affect your tennis. The good thing is that not only does it affect your tennis, it affects your opponent's tennis too. So how do you play in the wind? How do you play in certain weathers? What can you do? Well, I've had so many complaints this year, including from myself to myself, that the wind sucks. But what do you do? Well, play the ball. Figure out the wind. Like where I play, there's a mountain on the side of me, and the wind kind of comes around, hits the mountain, and blows in like this. So it's like a swirl, like this, like a tornado almost. So what does that mean to me? So if I'm playing on this side and my opponent's on that side, the ball's gonna probably come in this way. So if I set up for a backhand, I may get a forehand. So which means move your feet, right? How many times people tell you that? Move your feet and don't set it. Don't set it, meaning don't like boom, boom, I'm gonna hit a forehand, or boom, boom, I'm gonna hit a backhand. You're gonna have to kind of be in the ready position, taking little steps to kind of maybe quickly adjust, and just assume that it's gonna swing around and come in to that forehand, okay? But don't plant your feet, and try to, as soon as they strike the ball and you know where it's going, right? If it's anywhere near the center, it's probably gonna go to your forehand, okay? Because that wind's coming in this way, all right? And also with the wind kind of coming in like this, the wind kind of sometimes blows the ball straight down. So if your opponent doesn't really quite strike it cleanly, right, it actually slows down coming to you and drops straight down. So don't plant your feet, because you might have to take a couple little steps in when the ball basically falls off that table. Now, if you're playing a set or a match, 2 rackets would definitely help in this case too. You want a tight one and you want a loose one, because if you're playing on this side and let's say your opponent's over there, the wind's coming in around this way, which means you're going to be hitting against the wind. So this is when the looser racket would come into play. You probably want a looser racket to hit through the ball and get it a little deeper. Now, if you're on that other side in which the wind is behind you and you're hitting and the wind kind of takes it into that jet stream, you want the tighter racket. So when you swing, it doesn't take off on you if it's a looser string job. So this is when two differently strung rackets will help you, especially out here in the Bay Area when the wind is kind of going crazy this year. Now, speaking of weather, although it looks like a nice day out there, it's only 65 degrees today. So on a day like this, and let's say conditions were perfect, you kind of just want a normally strung racket today. And depending upon how you feel, like I always tell you, start with the tightest, right? If you have 3 or 4 rackets in the bag, string them slightly different. Go 2-pound increments different and go with the tightest first or the most freshly strung, and then progress down as needed. As your energy level drops, pick up the looser strung rackets, because that will actually help you a little more. So if it's hot, if it's 90 degrees, 100 degrees, in which it does get out here in the summer, you want a tightly strung racket, because the balls are going to fly. The balls are softer. Your strings are livelier. So get a tightly strung, or use your tight racket first, or your freshly strung racket first. If it's cold in the winter and it's like 35 degrees, you want a loosely strung racket, because everything is hard and dead, and you want those strings to actually spring a little more for power. So, if you can get 2, 3, up to 4 rackets in the bag, I definitely suggest stringing them slightly different, like 2 pounds difference. From, like for myself, I go 48, 50, 52, 54 now. And then I always start with the 54 and then progress my way down depending upon the day and the conditions. I usually do not stick with the 54 till the end, just because I know my energy level will drop. Not in the greatest of shape right now. So if I were to take the 54 and take it all the way to the end with the 1 racket, that means I'm having a great day. That means I'm feeling good that day. But most of the time, there's a progression, and you guys should think of that too. So that's called tennis IQ, guys. Think about the conditions. Think about your body. Think about where you're playing, how the wind is, how hot it is. Check the factors out. Use your brain and, see what's working for you that day. Okay? So check the weather, guys. See you on the court. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.